Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
On the feast of Saint Ignatius of Antioch, just a very brief thought. It is worth reading any of his letters written to the 7 churches, which we are going to read in the evening prayer. It is worth looking up his life. He is one of the first named martyr of the church. However, I like to link his martyrdom and witness to truth to a program yesterday on channel BBC 4. It was a masterpiece performance of T.S. Eliot's 4 Quartet adapted to stage. It's worth looking up on BBC iPlayer. So it took place, it was broadcast on Sunday at 9 p.m. When one read the whole 4 quartets in 1 hour 20 minutes, it was like walking in a sea which forces us to face reality, the world in which we live in. The 4 quartets spoke with relevance after the First World War, after devastating destruction which hit the continent and countries. And T.S. Eliot, on behalf of our culture, mourned all these losses and searched for hope and new direction. It is a very difficult piece because it evokes our world, our culture, our technologies fallen apart. And when we have this ongoing, seemingly unstoppable war in Europe, in Ukraine, this poem speaks again with relevance in its full power. It really should be listened to. Intelligible speeches, the voices of the arm industry and politicians, are fallacy compared with its honesty. And today, when military exercise have begun in the skies of Europe, practicing the deployment of American nuclear bombs, if a nuclear exchange takes place, it is simply outrageous. We Christians, as the first letter says, we should not following the way of this world, obeying the ruler who governs the air, who infects the air with nuclear bombs, even if it's a fake bomb, and only for practicing purposes, and just to send a warning to the enemy. We have to take T.S. Eliot's 4 quartets seriously, because this is a genuine funeral speech over a culture which has lost its soul, which is no longer anchored in God. And if we recall the book of Ernest Becker, can't remember the title exactly, The Fear of Death, its main thesis is that we humans, we try to deny that our life is limited, and unconsciously we have a fear that our life can be erased and all our achievements can and will come to a halt. So, as a form of denial, we want to outlive ourselves. That's why people, cultures, they often join big movements, a political movement, or a totalitarian regime, because they will say that, well, I'm going to die, but I will outlive the things if I join this powerful movement. And it seems that supporting war in any forms, blaming the enemy, blaming only the so-called enemy, dehumanizing the other, being enthusiastic about winning a war. And it seems that Germany wants to win the Second World War against Russia, it seems to me, or countries want to win again, to experience a victory. So we so easily join these voices without making a proper discernment. What is the common good about? What is in the interest of the whole human family? And no one speaks about peace. Only genuine art and Pope Francis, like T.S. Eliot in the Fourth Quartet. So if you have time, just let us try to Google it. It should be available on the internet, and just read few passages of it. It's going to face off with this dilemma that what is between beginning and end, what we can perceive of the world when it reaches its what's the word? Just forgetting about it. It's a stalemate, when there is no movement, when we have a chance of listening to God and to our truer self. And when we witness a martyr's death, like Saint Ignatius of Antioch, we are reminded that there is a way to stop acting on the ground of our inherent narcissism, that we want to totalize the world and occupy the world according to our own interests, proving ourselves to be the first, the better than the enemy, better than the other army, having better weapons, better cars than the enemy or the competitor. And this is when we become Christ-like. So in that spirit, let us receive today's communion, begging for peace, for inner peace and physical peace.